episode 19, A Family Affair.
I'm tired of being your mistress, Paul. You keep telling me that you love me. When are you going to do something about it?
Something like what?
Like get a divorce. You said that you were going to. You promised me.
Listen, now is not the time to discuss my marriage.
This is the cheating man episode. This is the episode. This is the father knows best episode.
I have this link right in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's in the bottom half, but it's...
This episode sucks so much. So, plot A opens with a father and son, and the father is congratulating his son on getting accepted into...
Oh, right. Yes.
Getting accepted into a college. So he gets accepted. He gets like a scholarship offer.
Yep.
And the son is played by... you probably wouldn't recognize his name. It's Morris Chestnut.
Morris Chestnut.
Oh, you do know who he is. Yeah.
Yep.
He was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. He's in Lucifer. He had a big role. He's a big TV actor.
Yep.
He's in lots of stuff. What would you know him most for?
Movies. I swear
really?
he's done something.
Oh, maybe. Okay, yeah. But he's pretty known.
Yeah.
He's like a baby in this though. He's very young. It hardly even looks like him really. So the father receives so this is like a picturesque family. They're all happy. It's like a loving mother and father, and the father's like he's a good man. He works hard for his family. He's a lawyer, upstanding citizen. And then he gets a call from his mistress.
Yeah.
That's how the episode opens. Yeah. It's like he gets a call from his mistress and she's like, "You're not spending enough time with me." So this man is like a scumbag and he's having an affair.
Yeah.
Again, Freddy's numbers. Fuck marriage.
Right.
Everybody is fucking everybody. That's the marriage.
Any legitimate relationship between two people in love should not.
It's not going to last,
exist.
buddy.
Yeah.
So then, so he gets a call from his mistress and she's like, I thought you said, you were going to leave your wife. What's taking so long? And the whole thing is like, he was planning on waiting for his son to move out of the house and go away to college. So then so it wouldn't be hard on his family. He didn't want to break up his family. A little less damaging. Yeah. So then when that happens, he was going to divorce his wife and then get with the mistress. But the son decides he's going to take a varsity basketball scholarship at Springwood U.
Yeah.
Because apparently Springwood has a university.
Yeah.
There's never referenced before, but sure, that's canon now. There's also a university there.
In every TV show or movie, wherever the city that it takes place, they always have the city, everything that they need.
Yeah, they have the college and or the university, whatever they need. So there's Springfield U.
Springwood U. Yeah.
Springwood, not Springfield. Springwood U. Springwood U. And I wrote down. I thought Springwood was kind of a small town, but
apparently not. It's the metropolis of Springwood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This obviously fucks up the father's plans because now the son, because he's going to a local university, he's going to live at home for the next 4 years. So he obviously gets angry about this, and he then has a change of heart, and he decides, like, you know what, I'm gonna choose my family. Fuck this woman. Fuck this crazy bitch. He goes to the mistress to break it off, and she tries to tempt him. So I think what happens is the way this plays out is she leaves a voicemail at his home. That's because she keeps threatening. She's like, "I'm going to tell your wife."
It's very Fatal Attraction.
Yeah, if you don't get rid of her, I'm going to get rid of her, and I'm going to break up your family.
Right.
So she leaves a voicemail at home that reveals everything, but coincidentally he gets to the answering machine first, so the family doesn't hear it. But then he's like, "Enough of this shit."
Yeah.
So then he goes and breaks up with her, and she drops all of her clothes and tries to tempt him, and he's just like, "Fuck you, I'm out of here." And he resists and leaves, but not before she shouts, "You're mine," and tries to threaten him. She basically goes psycho, and fearing she's going to be a problem and may try to harm his family, he hires a fucking hitman.
Yep. Yeah, he goes way off the deep end real quick.
Right. Yeah. So this innocent Bill Cosby looking guy is not only fucking around on his wife, he apparently also has a hitman on his Rolodex. Maybe those Bill Cosby types just aren't who we think they are.
Yeah, you could say that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just that's just for me. I can't say for sure.
It was a client, an ex-client of his knows a
that
guy
owed him a favor.
Yeah.
Because he's a lawyer. So it was someone that owed him a favor. No, it was going to
Yeah.
be him that did it. I
Yeah.
think it was going to be that guy that does it. What? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So he hires a hitman to get rid of her, which that's a bit extreme. It's like this man has no morals apparently.
Right.
It's like he's supposed to be upstanding, but he's doing this.
Yeah, and he's a lawyer. Like, so he, yep.
Okay, so then while waiting for the hitman to do his job, the main character is like he's anxiously waiting by the phone, waiting to get the call from the hitman being like, it's done.
It's done.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he's waiting and waiting and waiting. And while he's waiting, for some reason, we get this bizarre zoom in shot of the coat hooks in the house. You know, like when you come in a house, you see those coat hooks on the on the wall. There's like this zoom in shot. It's like a 30-second zoom in shot. And it's like, what are you doing? What is this shot?
And it doesn't. Like, I know
Don't
why.
spoil it.
I know
Don't
why they're
spoil
doing
why.
this.
No, I know.
but-
It's so stupid.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
So after not hearing from the hitman for a while, he goes over to the mistress's apartment and finds the hitman dead.
Yeah.
Which is like, ooh.
Uh-oh.
Then the mistress shows up at the man's house, murders the wife, which I think she murders her with like an axe or something. It's pretty brutal. And then wrestles with the husband before being impaled on the coat hooks that they zoomed in on earlier.
Yeah.
Now, I want to make a point here because you criticize me for this. Because this is one of the things that I don't like is don't show me something and give it some emphasis if it's not going to come back up again.
Yeah.
Establish things and then pay those things off. Okay? That's the way I like narratives to play out. I want things to be paid off. Don't show me this fucking cool metal wheelchair in the house
Yes.
in fucking Curse
And
of
then
Chucky and then never
reference it
do
again.
anything with it. Okay? This is the exact opposite in that they went out of their way to show you the thing
Yep.
5 minutes before they then paid it off. So A, that was way too quick of a payoff, but B, usually you're establishing something that's not normal. Like usually it's something where it's like, oh, hey, I'm really good at riding a dirt bike. Okay, cool. I wonder if in the end he's going to end up having to ride a dirt bike or something like that. Or like, hey, or how did you learn to hot wire a car?
Right.
Mark's favorite. Well, I've wasted youth. And it's like, okay, that explains how she's able to, like, usually they do shit like that where it's like, it's something that's not necessarily normal, but like a coat hook.
You almost feel like instead of just putting the camera on it and holding it there they would have done something like the son tries to hang up his jacket, but he misses because it's like above his head or something, like something that doesn't
anything different.
Yeah.
But I don't even know that you need to do that
No.
because usually what you're doing is you're trying to establish a thing that's not normal so then you can have a payoff for it.
Yeah.
But in this case, like, do we really need to establish that houses have coat hooks?
Yeah, I guess the whole point though
Like,
is that
because that's surprising where it's like if she just got impaled on a coat hook, I don't think you would have been like, where the fuck did that coat hook come from?
No,
People don't have coat hooks.
the only thing I can think of is if they didn't draw attention to it when she gets impaled on the coat hook, you wouldn't necessarily know that because it doesn't come out the front of her head or anything. She's just stuck against so you'd be like, what's wrong with her? There's nothing wrong with her. She's just up against the wall. No, you needed to know. So I understand, but at the same time, I'm like, why did it have to be the coat hooks? Right. And if it had to be the coat hooks, you needed to introduce the coat hooks in a different way.
Yeah.
Instead of just, oh, by the way, coat hooks. Coat hooks. Coat hooks. Yeah. Like,
Whoa.
and you were right. She does hack the wife to death.
It was like an axe.
But when she's dead, it looks like she was shot. Like she's got like the tiniest of little.
I don't even remember this detail.
So
what I do remember is at like moments later, the son comes home and we get a full minute of just the father and son crying. It's like it's so weird. it's like a full minute of them just sobbing about this poor woman's death. And it like doesn't cut. What the fuck? What do we do? Like, why? It's so weird. But then when we get to the B plot, it's like, oh, that's kind of what you're going for?
Yeah, I get it. Again, you don't have a lot of time. So you don't need to.
So why give us a minute?
Right. We understand that a son is going to be wrecked by the fact that his mother's.
You can just show him react for like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
You don't need a minute of him sobbing.
Right.
We get it. We got it. Yeah. No. So then we're into the B plot, and we're still following the cheating scumbag husband for some reason, but it has now time skipped ahead. And it opens with him just like instantly having a heart attack, which is fucking hilarious. It's just like, okay, he's back. Oh, heart attack. Okay. And then it time skips ahead again. And now it's 2 years later. And it turns out that his son and him are now estranged. And we get a flashback of the last minute from the previous segment that we just saw. Which is it only serves the purpose of padding out the runtime.
Right.
They literally show us like, we just saw this.
You don't need to remind us, the audience, that.
But this was like 2 minutes ago. It wasn't even at the beginning of the episode. We just saw this, and now you're going to show this again. So like what they're not showing you is like, oh, he's got an estranged relationship with his son. So it's like, oh, I guess he came clean and told his son about the affair. You know what would have been a great flashback? Showing us that.
Show us that.
Show us the thing that, like, rather than show us something we just watched, why don't you film a new segment and then show us that?
Like, we know he left, but maybe show us that explosion between the two of them that finally split them up.
Why not open the episode with that?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, no, we're not filming that. That's way too much work. So then it's years later. The man is now like semi-retired. He's not in good health. Like he's got a really bad heart. He's kind of recovering at home. He's got like a live-in nurse, and his son returns, and hopefully they're going to be able to like mend ties and move past this dark, this shameful history. And the nurse warns him that he's got a bad heart condition. He's got to take it easy. And there's this bullshit like heart-to-heart moment where like the father's like, "Where have you been, son?"
Yeah.
Before discovering track marks on the son's arms.
Yeah, it was a real left turn.
Like, what?
I mean,
okay. So then the son's like, I don't want to talk about it, and he like runs upstairs, and the father, because when you have a heart attack, stairs are actually a big problem.
That's right.
So he can't go up the stairs to follow him. So he's basically bound to like the first floor.
Yep.
So the son runs upstairs. And it cuts to the son taking out a fucking heroin kit from his bag, complete with like a syringe. Like, this fucking level, this is where we're going.
It was a tremendous shift in tone all of a sudden. Like, I understand, like, he's had a rough couple of years. So it's not so much that he's taken to, drugs to sort of get past it, but it never really... This show overall doesn't set up that you're going to hit like a curveball like that. It was too heavy for what is generally up until this point just been kind of a
zany,
a light, a little bit goofy, sometimes bordering on scary, but not really show for tweens to watch.
And it's so funny because he's so normal looking, and it's like, oh, this is the junkie son. They don't even try to make him look like a junkie.
Right.
He looks normal, but it's like, oh, he's a heroin addict.
Well, because they filmed the scene the day before.
Right, like exactly. Yeah. They didn't have time to put him in makeup. Right, exactly. They just put some like black marker dots on his arm. Yeah. It's like those are his track marks. Yeah. We then get another heart-to-heart moment between the father and son where he's like, son, I understand I'm not a good man, but drugs, they're not the answer, my boy. And it's like, this is a several-minute scene.
I knew that I had destroyed my own life, son. God, I held out hopes that, in spite of not seeing you for 2 years, that I hadn't destroyed yours also. That you could pick up the pieces and make something of your life. When I saw those tracks on your arms, son, My last hope was destroyed.
Dad, listen, I'm not doing dope anymore. That's in the past. I've been clean now for the last 6 months.
What are we watching? What is this? And then the dad just has a heart attack. And then in a twist, I guess heaven has a sense of irony because they send the messenger of death is his mistress.
Right.
His mistress comes to take him into the afterlife. And he's like, no, I'm just rekindling with my son. Like, you can't take me yet. And then she's like, no, I'm sorry. Those are the rules. And then he's like, well, how about this? We'll have a game of poker. And if I win, you let me live like another month or something.
Right.
It's another week or another month. And she accepts the deal. And if you're expecting something like the Seventh Seal, where a Knight of the Templar has a epic game of chess against death themselves,
Right.
you will be disappointed.
Yeah. Right.
This is just nothing. It's just a quick little stupid poker game, and then he cheats anyways, and then he wins, but she double crosses him because she's like, all right, fine. You can stay alive, but I'm gonna have to take another life instead. And then she just takes the son's life, and the son dies.
And like that
Instead of him?
instead of the game of chess, do you know what they play instead?
Yeah, it's poker, isn't it?
Strip poker, because everything's got to have.
Oh, I don't remember it being
Yeah, yeah.
strip poker.
Strip poker.
Oh, is that what it was? Why?
Yep.
Why?
Because him and Claire used to play strip poker back when they were young and cheating around, right? So it has like some kind of history for them, even though they only play one round. So
No, I was going to say, that's why I don't remember it being
Yeah, yeah.
strip poker, because
Yeah.
I don't remember her getting like super naked. I just remember her losing and then being like, yeah, okay.
yeah,
Stupid. And then the bumper. The bumper is the real, this is the icing on the
Yep.
fucking shit cake. So the bumper is Freddy has like a PSA moment.
Yeah,
It cuts to Freddy.
Drugs. Now there's a real nightmare.
Yeah, he goes, drugs. Now there's a real nightmare.
yeah.
What the fuck? It's like, and he's deadly serious.
Yep.
There's no humor.
Right.
It's not meant to be funny. It's literally a PSA moment. And it's like,
Which is surprising given this, right?
Yes.
Given this.
Yes. Because it's like, hey, Fred. Oh, drugs are bad?
Yeah.
Hey, Fred, remember when you overdosed Taryn in
Right.
her dream in Elm Street 3?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess it wasn't a problem then, eh?
Yeah, and left her with the shame of that. Her whole family had to live with. Yeah, yeah. Remember that?
Yeah,
Well,
remember
but
that?
now suddenly,
yeah,
no.
but suddenly, no, yeah,
Drugs
yeah, yeah.
are bad.
And I want to point out that's actually not even how the son died.
No.
The son didn't die of an overdose. It was a vengeful spirit
Yep.
took his life
Yep.
from a deal his father made. He didn't even overdose. The son was actually trying to get clean by the end of the episode.
So lessons learned, 0. There we go.
Like, it feels like this episode, and this at one point this was actually my number one least.
Yep.
That for a while it was until I got to Dust to Dust.
So you had a few more to watch.
Yeah. Because this one, at least you can laugh at how stupid it is and how misguided it is, but it is so out of place in this show,
Yeah.
in the whole show. It feels like somebody was like, okay, we need, like, kids are watching, like, teenagers are watching our program. We need a PSA
We have to have
episode.
a message here somewhere. Yeah.
We need we need a preachy episode.
Yeah.
And that's what this is. It's like an episode of Seventh Heaven.
Yeah, but your lead character for most of this, the lawyer, Paul,
He's a scumbag.
he is not a character that we can relate to. He even openly says to his son, like, I've cheated on everything in my life.
Right.
Like cards, your mother, everything. Like law school, he cheated to get into or to pass, right? Like we cannot feel any sympathy for this character. And yet he is sort of held up as the, like, oh, he's being wronged by Claire, who's, his adulteress, like
Right.
his no. The tone of this episode
so
is
bad.
way off. Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you caught this, and I think somebody. So I read this on Wikipedia, and I'm pretty certain somebody fucked this up. It says in the Wikipedia entry for this episode, this is the follow-up episode to Silence is Golden. I could not find a single
What would
fucking
the connection be? Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I couldn't find a single fucking connection between those two episodes.
Maybe it just meant it was the one that came after.
It says the follow-up episode, meaning there had to be some thread. There's no thread.
No.
Sound off in the comments if there's some thread that links. No, I'm
Something
pretty
we
sure
missed.
somebody fucked up
Yeah.
that wiki entry. Yeah, because the Silence is going to remind you, it's the Rick Rake episode. It's the Shock Jock episode.
Yeah.
I don't think they have the radio playing that. The mime is dead at this point.
Was the mime like the hired killer? Maybe I don't.
No,
know.
it wasn't that guy. So I don't know what the
Yeah.
fuck the connection was.
No.
How is this a follow up? And
I'm not going to waste a whole lot of time worrying about it.
Yeah.